Imagine being 65 years old. No job, no savings, just a social security check for $105 and one recipe you believed in. Most people at 65 are thinking about retirement. Most people at 65 have accepted what their life is going to be, but one man at 65 got in his car and started driving across America, knocking on doors, cooking chicken, getting rejected, over and over and over again. 1,009 times to be exact. This is the story of Colonel Harland Sanders, the man who proved that it is never too late to start over. Harland Sanders was born on September 9, 1890, in Henryville, Indiana. Life hit him hard from the very beginning. When Harland was just 6 years old, his father died. His mother had to work long hours in a factory just to keep the family alive. As the oldest child, Harland was left at home to take care of his younger brother and sister, and to feed them, he had to learn to cook. At just 7 years old, Harland Sanders was already cooking full meals for his family. Oh, little did he know that this skill would one day change the entire world. But before that happened, life would make him suffer in ways most people cannot imagine. At 12 years old, his mother remarried. His new stepfather was a cruel and harsh man. Harland could not bear it, so he left home. At just 12 years old, he was completely alone in the world. He took whatever work he could find. Farm laborer, streetcar conductor, railroad fireman, insurance salesman, ferry boat operator. He tried everything. Nothing lasted. Nothing worked. By the time he was in his 40s, Harland Sanders had failed at almost everything he had ever tried. But then, one small opportunity appeared. He opened a small service station in Corbin, Kentucky, and in the back of that service station, he started cooking chicken for travelers. Word spread quickly. His chicken was different. His chicken was special. People drove miles out of their way just to eat at his little roadside kitchen. Life was finally looking up for Harland Sanders. But fate had other plans. Just when things were going well, a new highway was being built near Corbin, Kentucky. Interstate 75. The new highway would bypass his restaurant completely. Overnight, his customers disappeared. The restaurant that had taken him decades to build was suddenly worthless. He had to auction everything off just to pay his debts. After the auction was over, Harland Sanders had nothing left. He was 65 years old. No business, no savings, no income, no future. The government sent him his first Social Security check. $105. That was all he had to his name. $105 and a chicken recipe he had been perfecting for years. A secret blend of 11 herbs and spices that made his fried chicken unlike anything anyone had ever tasted. Most people in his situation would have given up completely. Most people would have found a small apartment and lived out their remaining years quietly. But Harland Sanders was not most people. He looked at that $105 check. He looked at his recipe, and he made a decision that would shock the entire world. He got in his old car, packed his pressure cooker and his secret spice blend, and started driving. He had one simple idea. He would offer restaurants his secret chicken recipe, and for every piece of chicken they sold using his recipe, he would receive a small percentage. It sounded simple, but what followed was one of the most painful journeys any entrepreneur has ever taken. Harland Sanders drove from restaurant to restaurant across America. He would walk in, introduce himself, ask if he could cook his chicken for the owner and staff, and then he would wait for their answer. The first restaurant said no. The second said no. The 10th said no. The 50th said no. The 100th said no. He slept in his car most nights to save money. He wore the same white suit every day, a suit that would later become iconic around the entire world. His friends thought he had lost his mind. His family worried about him. People laughed at this old man driving around America, trying to sell a chicken recipe. But he kept going. Door after door. City after city. State after state. Rejection number 200. Rejection number 300. Rejection number 500. Each rejection hurt, but each rejection also made him stronger. He refined his pitch. He improved his cooking technique. He kept going when any reasonable person would have stopped. Rejection number 700. Rejection number 800. Rejection number 900. Then, finally, after 1,009 rejections, restaurant number 1,010 said yes. Pete Harmon of Salt Lake City, Utah became the first Kentucky Fried Chicken franchisee in 1952. That single yes changed everything. Word spread about this incredible chicken recipe. More restaurants wanted in. Then more. By 1964, Colonel Sanders had over 600 franchised outlets across the United States and Canada. The man who was sleeping in his car at 65 with $105 had built one of the most recognized food brands in the entire world. In 1964, he sold Kentucky Fried Chicken for $2 million, but he retained the rights to the Canadian franchises, and he remained the face and the soul of the brand forever. That white suit, that string tie, that warm smile. Colonel Sanders became one of the most recognized human beings on planet Earth. All starting at age 65. All starting with $105 and a dream nobody believed in. So what can we learn from Colonel Sanders? First, age is never an excuse. Harland Sanders started his greatest chapter at 65. Not 25. Not 35. Not 45. 65 years old. If you think you are too old to start something new, Colonel Sanders disagrees. Second, your worst moment can contain your greatest opportunity. It was only when Sanders lost everything that he was forced to bet everything on his one true gift. His chicken recipe. Sometimes losing what you have is the only way to discover what you are truly capable of. Third, rejection is just redirection. 1,009 rejections. Think about that number. Most people stop at 5. Some exceptional people stop at 50. Colonel Sanders did not stop at 1,009 because he knew that somewhere out there was a yes waiting for him, and that one yes was worth 1,009 no's. Fourth, believe in your recipe, not just the chicken recipe. Your recipe, your unique gift, your special talent, the thing that only you can offer the world. Sanders never doubted his chicken, even when 1,009 people told him it was not good enough. He knew it was, and he was right. And finally, it is never too late. Never, no matter how old you are, no matter how many times you have failed, no matter how many people have said no. Your story is not over. Colonel Sanders proved that at 65, you can still change the world. What is your excuse? If Colonel Sanders' story reminded you that it is never too late, if it made you think about that dream you gave up on, if it gave you even a small amount of hope for your own journey, then this channel was made for you. Every single week we bring you real stories of real people who refused to give up, people who fell to the very bottom and rose higher than anyone thought possible, because here at Rise from Ashes we believe one thing: every setback is a setup for a comeback. Hit the subscribe button right now so you never miss a story. Drop a comment below and tell us, what was the most inspiring part of Colonel Sanders' story for you? We read every single comment. Until next time, keep rising.